So, Vadhandhi Season 2 has been watched. First things first, Season 2 is a significant upgrade from Season 1. In fact, I'd even say this is the finest second season in the Tamil series space. It has a fine case in the center of it, even if the titular character Modakattan Mani isn't half as interesting as Melanie, my child. But the series more than makes up for it by giving us a wonderful cop character, S.I. Musa Raza, played by Sasikumar, with characteristic earnestness. The story is simple. Two skeletons are found. The case gets a lot of prominence due to the involvement of state and union governments. Somehow this lands in the lap of Musa, and through investigation, we get to know that Mani, played by a really good Yashwanth, is the killer. But somehow Musa believes Mani to be innocent, and we follow suit. But we do need to know who killed those two people, right? And that's what unfolds over 8 episodes, where we're also showed glimpses into the challenges faced by the cops. The bureaucracy, the red tapeism, the insufficient funds, the systemic failures present in the police system, and a lot more are touched upon in Vadhandhi Season 2. What creator Andrew Louis gets absolutely right in both the seasons is not just giving us interesting titular characters around whom these Vadhandhis, speculations are built throughout the season, but also gives us no-nonsense cops who won't rest until justice is served. But Andrew knows this isn't your commercial cinema where flashiness and elevation music is used in abundance to show that we are watching a hero story. Both S.J. Surya's Vivek from Season 1 and Sasikumar's Musa from Season 2 are cops who might not be the Singham or Sami brand of cops, but they're hardened police officers who try to do their best despite the system stacking the odds heavily against them. This is a refreshing portrayal of cops and allows us to humanize the khaki without glossing over the cracks in their system. Another aspect that Vadhandhi Season 2 gets absolutely right is the employment of the red herrings. See, having grown up on mystery novels and having developed a particularly strong affinity towards investigative thrillers, my mind, just like many others like me, tries to solve the case way before the narrative reaches the point. It is like vicariously living through the lives of these detectives and imagining oneself to be the Sherlock Holmes of Kodambakkam. Every detour gets a neat little closure. Every knot finds itself untangled by the end of the series. In fact, there were a couple of detours that were venturing into the offensive territory, but the resolutions made me go, that was smart, because Andrew was one step ahead. It's always a pleasure to be flummoxed by a mystery novel or an investigative film. It's probably the only time when being wrong is a good thing. Again, this isn't as ingenious as, say, that Drishyam reveal with the you-know-what buried you-know-where, but just like Drishyam, I believe Vadhandhi 2 might be that rare investigative thriller where you can still enjoy the proceedings after knowing where it is headed. The reason why this journey will still be interesting is that Andrew has sketched characters that feel natural and not overtly cinematic. It has similar beats of, say, a Vilangu, one of the most acclaimed investigative dramas in Tamil OTT space. There is a pregnant wife for the investigating officer. This character is played by Aparna Das, who understands that she might not have a runtime on her side, but trusts in Andrew to give her just the right things to be memorable, and she is. Her role could have easily gone the Maina way, where it could have been portrayed as a nagging wife. But that was clearly never the point, and it's a template role but never generic. This is something that is seen throughout the series, where every character, including Vivek Prasanna's Ramar, who is straight out of Season 1, has a neat little arc contained within the rules of this world. Now, coming to the speculative aspect of Vadhandhi 2, unlike Vadhandhi 1, which was pretty straightforward in its approach to its title and gave a direct commentary on rumors and how society's perception, has the power to make or break a life, Vadhandhi 2 takes a roundabout but still effective approach. Just like how the red herrings are supremely effective, so is the central plot and how the makers of the sequel leave just enough breadcrumbs throughout the narrative. The best part of these investigative dramas is that these breadcrumbs should look like breadcrumbs only in retrospect, and that's where the season gets things mostly right. Anagha's senior cop has her share of personal issues, which does get resolved a bit too easily, but is rock solid as the cop who has her junior's back but doesn't fail to express her displeasure when needed. Actors Revati Sharma, Varshini Karmegam, Deepika Anand, Arjun Chakravarti play characters that might seem one thing but are completely something else. Also, we still don't have enough Muslim protagonists in our cinema and OTT spaces, and even if there are such protagonists, the writing uses them as black and white tropes. Here, through Musa's story and struggle within the film, creator Andrew makes a few pertinent points about identity and how it is tough to challenge the status quo. But he never allows it to come in the way of the bigger story, which is solving the mystery of money. He uses Musa's story to make you understand the character's thought process and not to deliver a lesson on morality and ethics. It is not easy to do so because a lot of punchy messaging was there for the taking, but Team Vadhandhi too decide to not take the bait and give us a character who practices Islam and is not just a Muslim character. This difference is very important to note, and I hope we get more characters that feel assimilated to society as they naturally are. Continuing the rich praise, kudos to the makers for also showing how DNA evidence isn't as easy to obtain in the Indian police system. Andrew, who understands that many sections of his audience have been accustomed to the police procedurals of the West, gives us enough information to make us avoid asking the question, why didn't the police just do this? Why didn't they do that? And the answer is simple, because they don't have the resources. It takes time for things to happen in Indian system. But Vadhandhi, just like every other police procedural from India, normalizes police brutality. Without reforms, brutality won't stop. And many believe without brutality, answers can't be arrived at. And answers can't be arrived at without reforms allowing policing to be easy. And without reforms, brutality won't stop. You get it, right? Sasikumar is the backbone of the series, and it is his natural sincerity that makes you believe in his quest to find justice. The series also deals with an important aspect of our human nature that continues to be put under the scanner. And I'm glad that Andrew's route in season 2 is completely different from season 1. It is very easy to talk about rumors, speculations, perspective, and lose one's own perspective to provoke the audience for a reaction. The series would still have been effective for many, even if it would have been, let's say, disappointing for more than a few. But in season 2, Andrew takes on a case and a route that is not just tough, but also very important. Through the story of Musa and money, creator Andrew, creative producers Pushkar-Gayatri, the entire ensemble and the top-notch crew come together to ask a simple question and give a simpler answer. Would you be comfortable bringing a child to a world where people believe a simple Vadhandhi and derail everything? Well, you can't always change the world, but you should never stop trying.